And welcome to another episode of Sharp Side of Paranormal. I am your host, Cody. And boy, has it been a crazy week. And it's only Wednesday. So the other night, Candy Howard, friend of mine from Supernatural Sirens, shared a little post on Facebook. And it was involving the founder and team leader of Paranormal Connections, which a lot of people knew. This guy, he's a registered sex offender. Not only was his team going into residential locations for free to help teams or help people, he was also, his team was in charge of investigations at Chestnut House. Now, the thing is, they claim that Chestnut House has dropped them and blah, 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 blah. But I have multiple sources that have said, no, that is not the case. They are just laying low until this washes over, and then they're gonna come back. And let me tell you, you're not gonna come back from this. This is no, and he should not be in our community whatsoever. I'm trying to fix my camera here. There we go. It's acting up. He does not belong in our community. He is not welcome in our paranormal community. In fact, he was using aliases during this whole time, which is my camera is not working today, and I don't know why. Anyway, he was using aliases, and he had social media, which he was not supposed to. So I have had a call into his parole officer, and he's probably going to be getting violated, which is good because he has no business. It's a ghost. Yes, that's what's going on with my camera. It's a ghost. No, he does not belong in our community, and it's disgusting that there are people defending him, and it's not right. Yeah, predators don't belong doing private investigations, period. They don't belong in public investigations either, Justin. I agree with you. They don't. No, it's so terrible that it has happened, and I thank Candy for bringing it to everyone's attention and doing some further research on it. And I've had people come forward with more information, and I know, yeah, it's just. This is like the third or fourth just recently that was found, but I digress. Yeah, big events coming up. August 17th, ISS Con at the Indiana State Sanatorium. It's actually being held at Billy Creek Village right down the street. I'm going to be there. We're going to have some fun. And then the next day I'm going to Waverly. So, yay. Anyway, tonight's guest, I have been excited. I have been trying to get her on the show for months, and she has finally said, "Stop asking. I will come on." And I had bought her book, one of her books, "We Are Malvern Manor," Tory Westhoff, and I was like, you know what? Might as well get the big one and get the "We Are Randolph County Infirmary." So that's what I did. Also makes it good at taking care of children that are misbehaving. Thump. That's a joke for legal purposes. But I'm going to bring her on. Here is Tory herself. Hi, Tory.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. I've been trying to get you on for a while, but you're really busy.
I am. I'm a full-time mom, full-time nurse, full-time book writer.
Full-time paranormal investigator.
That too.
You got a new book out, don't you?
I do. It came out probably a couple of months ago, probably.
Newer book.
Asylum 49. This is part 1 of a 5-book series. The first one that I did was, let me find it. This one. And this is all the children that died in that facility, Asylum 49.
What is Asylum 49 for those that don't know?
Asylum 49, currently it operates as how do you want to say it? Halloween fun house. They do Halloween stuff every year. My good friend Richard Estep goes there quite a lot, and he goes there every year, I think, actually, and he participates in like the Halloween stuff. Anyway, I got in touch with Kim Anderson, the owner, and asked him about a book, and asked him if he would be okay if I looked into the history of the property. And it used to be the old Tooele County Hospital. That's what it used to be. It was a hospital. Now, I do believe, I'm not sure if it's still operating there or not, but there was a nursing home like on the other side of it. So um, it's it's quite complex, I guess. And overall, I think I found, I would have to look at my spreadsheet because I've done a lot of books, but about 1,200 deaths in that facility.
Dang,
Yes,
that's a lot.
yes. Um, it's by far like it's one of. I found some interesting stuff with this. Spoiler alert. Uh, if you guys don't want to know, like,
No,
so
no, no, no. I love spoilers.
I come across this article about a guy named Claude Madsen. And according to his obituary right here, he was buried in the hospital somewhere. Yes.
How does one get buried in a hospital?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's legal these days, but in 1977, maybe it was. I don't know.
That was a cutting time for medical, the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found that, and I had talked to Kim about it, and he asked me, he said, "How did you know about that?" And I'm like, "Well, I found it." Um, I had a conversation with him, and I asked him if he was okay with me putting that in the book, and he was. And I do believe that he's going to be opening up Asylum 49 for paranormal investigations. I think they have done events there before in the past, and they have done them. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
but I think he's going to open it up, I think next year, maybe, for groups to be able to rent out.
I always love hearing that there are going to be more locations for us to investigate.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, you just keep watching my Facebook page.
We do, and your TikTok. Now, so what got you into what made you decide to start writing books?
Um, well, it was kind of a funny story. We Are Malvern Manor is my first book, and I had met Josh Hurd at the Kansas City Paracon in 2019, and he had a vendor table there, and we had some mutual friends or whatever, but I asked him how many people had died in Malvern Manor, because I think that people, when they think about a haunting, they use like the number of deaths determine how haunted a location would be. I mean, logically thinking, I mean, I can see how that would be. That's not necessarily the case, but in my young brain, well, not really that young, but in my brain, when you're trying to figure this stuff out, and you're researching and you're doing things, that was like something that had popped into my mind. I'm like, well, how many people have died? And he goes, you know what? I don't honestly really know the answer to that question. And so I decided to start looking in old newspapers because I'm a research nerd. And I came up with just under 200 deaths. And so when I was talking to Josh about it, um,
Yeah,
which was,
I just picked a
oh,
random page. I was just showing so people can understand.
yeah,
She finds their not only does she find their, you know, the newspaper or the obituary, but she also finds their headstone. If it's been able to be found, she finds it.
I do. I find anything that I can find that would that associates with that person. When I was talking to Josh, I said, "What if I made a book out of it?" And that, I mean, that is how the We Are series was born. Because as a paranormal investigator, when you go into locations and you're doing research, and I'll explain how my books are set up so people that aren't familiar with my books understand um, how this goes. Um, I am very meticulous about organization as far as like documents and that sort of thing goes. So what I did was I made a spiral bound copy. Now you can buy paperback copies off of Amazon and Lulu. The only one that doesn't come in spiral is We Are Randolph County Infirmary. And that is when I learned that you need to split books up because they didn't make spiral bound that big. Because there's so many.
Yeah.
But
Which I think is really funny is about Randolph County, because I've investigated there.
mhm.
And they tell you that they didn't want the deaths to be associated with Randolph. If somebody died, they were taken to the hospital and then declared dead. They weren't.
Now I do know, I want to say it was I want to say it was them. I made a note in it, whichever book it was. The historical society that I was working with did not want to work with me. They did not want to share the documents that they had on the poor farm. Every poor farm that, for people that don't know what a poor farm is, a poor farm was basically a Neanderthal form of Medicaid, state insurance, kind of. The county was responsible for taking care of their poor, and every county was required to have a poor farm. Now, did that apply to counties that had smaller populations? I'm not sure. But I know a vast majority of counties typically had a poor farm. Poor farms were typically 150 to 200 acres. They were self sustaining communities, and they were typically located close to this county seat because the county was responsible for feeding them, clothing them, medical care, burying them when they died. Every poor farm had a poor farm cemetery located on property somewhere. Um, but they were responsible for all of their care, and that included older people that weren't able to care for themselves anymore. It included what we would consider to be, um, I'm not really sure the proper term these days, but mentally retarded. They listed them on censuses as the deaf and dumb, which was crazy to me. But um, people that had mental disabilities, Down syndrome, anything that they really perceived as not able to function on their own went to the poor farm. People that were sick, sometimes you would get pandemic type stuff or like tuberculosis. Um, Poor farms were typically not very well kept. Lots of diseases went through there. A lot of people died, pneumonia, flu, because you have all these people crowded into a building. Which you've been to Randolph County Infirmary. These buildings can be very large or they can be smaller. Excuse me. But they were self-sustaining communities. The people that could work would work, and they would raise their own pigs, cows. They would do their own crops, and then any extra that they had, they would sell to the community, and they would bring in money that way. Um, but that was the poor farm. Sorry, I was watching the comments on my phone.
No, you're fine. I'm trying to bring the comments up onto the to the so everybody can see Dark Hollow.
Everybody for joining.
So yeah, I did a solo about a month and a half ago at Randolph. That was scary.
I'm just gonna say, I have some balls, but I don't think I have. I don't think I could do that.
So I was live streaming on TikTok. I was on a TikTok live, and a bunch of friends were in there. And I was sitting in the jail cell, and I'm going to show you this clip and my reaction. So I'm up in the jail cell, and all of a sudden I hear a door slam in the basement. You don't hear the door slamming, but you hear my reaction, and this is what it was.
Mm. Mm-mm. What the fuck was that? Oh my god!
I have very supportive friends. They thought it was hilarious that I
mean, that was raw.
it scared the shit out of me. Like I
Rightfully so. It'd scare me too. I think it's like, man.
that shit should be a meme. Thank you. Thank you. No, I got to go there. I stayed the whole night. I tried sleeping.
How'd that go for you?
I got about 40 minutes of sleep. I was downstairs in like the team room the gear room where you could set up your stuff up. And I was sitting on the couch trying to sleep, and like stuff just kept like knocking and banging. And I'm just like, nope, time to pack up the equipment, time to go home. So I left there about 5 a.m.
Randolph County Infirmary, man, there's a lot of, I'm trying to think back because I did that book a while ago, but I want to say that I did find a kiddo that had gotten shot on property. I think that's the one, back by their pond or something. And they weren't aware of that particular instance, but it was a young kiddo.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love poor farms. Poor farms have a special place in my heart. They really do.
I am still going through all of my footage because I had a security camera system set up, and I'm still going through all that footage. And I kept there's it's lots of activity there. It never disappoints. In the jail cell, while I was in the basement, there was like a shadow that you could see it walk in front of the light. Like you could see the light dim. So I have to go through everything.
Man, that's the longest part, I think, is trying to go through all that stuff and trying to figure out, yeah, because some of it is so subtle, so subtle.
That plus I had 8 cameras rolling for about 10 hours. So that's 80 hours of footage just on those that I have to go through. It's just like
I think I would miss a lot of stuff.
oh, I rewatch it.
Golly.
And I cheat. I use like motion. So like I'll click on the motion, and then because the security camera system will alert you for motion, so I can go back and look.
Now that's smart. That's working smarter, not harder.
I was working on my first flight. Don't use Rayovac batteries, and it probably ain't a deal. Don't use Rayovac batteries. That's always fun. I just got done with 28 hours of footage. I feel your pain. It's always a pain. That's like the low of paranormal investigating is when you're going back through your camera.
Yes.
Speaking of cameras, so you sent me some clips.
I did.
Can you set up where you're at, what you were doing that night?
So I was with, I typically investigate with a group of girls. And we decided we were going to do the Garnett House in Garnett, Kansas. That house is probably one of the most active that I've been to. McIntyre Villa, also very, very active. It was weird because it was active during the day and at night. It didn't really matter, and there was no rhyme or reason. But I typically go live on TikTok when I'm out investigating anywhere. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to leave equipment on, and then I'll leave my live going when we're going to take a break to see if I catch anything while I'm away. So this particular instance is just that. I left my camera on a tripod, and we had a Flux 2 going. We had, I forget I don't know, Stephanie calls them harpoon string. But it's that light with like the little sensors on it. I can't remember what it's called. But I also had a static dome and what else?
Tripwire.
Yes, that's it. That's the thing that I couldn't remember the name of. But I left it going, and we all went downstairs for our break. You can hear us talking in the background. What I sent you was the unedited footage, and I don't know if you want to play it and then I'll say, or if you want me to say and then you'll play. I don't.
I've only got 3 clips here. We're gonna click on a clip. I still trying to learn this software, so here we go. We're gonna. There's a lot to dissect in that clip. That's the one of 3 that I've cut. But
to me, that clip right there is the most epic thing I've ever caught. Now, if you listen to it with headphones, you can hear it better. If you have software like I don't know, insert whatever software, and you can lower the background noise and enhance the noise that's around it, you can hear it better. But that whistling, it was like somebody was just sauntering along whistling and then noticed the camera. And then when you blow that up to like a full-size computer screen or whatever, like whenever you hear the floor shifting, like it's walking past and the Flux 2 goes off, the camera goes out of focus for like a split second. Like my favorite.
It was, I watched that clip multiple times because it's just like there's a lot in there. You could hear the footsteps. You could clearly hear the whistling. Did you guys hear any of that while you were downstairs, or?
No, we had no idea.
Dang. All right, let's go to this next clip here. Yeah, you can. Something's walking around up there. It's like, what is this device? Hi, camera.
Yeah. I know, like, Garnet House, I think, flies under the radar a lot. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it definitely has never disappointed, ever.
Guess I need to come out to Kansas.
Definitely, and I will meet you there because it is one of my favorites, hands down. Hands down.
That is true. Sometimes you get the best stuff when you're not paying attention.
Yeah. And that's exactly what was happening. You could hear us all downstairs talking and laughing and having a good time because we don't really have any rhyme or reason. We just walk around like psychopaths and investigate. That's what we do. We don't have like an itinerary, so to speak. So I love the impromptu things, and that is exactly what that was. And the only reason why I knew I needed to watch that was because the people that were in my chat were like, "Hey, like we heard, insert whatever. We heard walking and whistling, and it was actually really cool. Like my live viewers got a show that night."
I mean, sometimes doing TikTok live, which is always nice because I've noticed it when I've been on TikTok live. People are like, "Oh," hey, did you hear that? And then I go back and listen to the replay of the live, and it's like, oh shit, there was something there.
Yeah,
So,
they'll point stuff out for sure. And actually, if you go on my TikTok, I was just at Garnett House like 4 weeks ago, something like that. It was kind of like an impromptu. My kiddo went and stayed the night with a friend, and I'm like, well, Garnett House is open. So me and Stephanie went to Garnett House, and we were getting the same male voice. We were using the DR60, and I have that actually on my TikTok. And he yelled at us. He said, "Fuck you."
don't you love it when they start swearing at you?
And you can hear like a human type quality to the voice. It was crazy. He was very angry.
That's on your TikTok?
Yeah. It's right up there towards the top.
Language warning. Here it is.
Yeah.
It did. Fuck you. It did. Fuck you.
We were so surprised by that, and I don't even really know why.
It did.
Wow. You just
Yeah.
said, fuck you. That's
And that EVP was caught in the same room that the camera was facing of the clips that you just played.
I do have one more clip. All right, here we go. Yeah. So was it raining that night?
Yes, it was.
I could hear the rain. Was it like a storming or was it just rain?
It was just rain. It was cold outside.
Okay. Because like I've noticed when I've been on investigations and it's lightning out, it supercharges the environment, and it just kind of like a Tesla coil.
Oh yeah, I loved it. We went to Whiteface House in Yates Center last weekend, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and there was like tornado sirens going off. Like I got caught in the middle of a severe thunderstorm. It was actually a pretty good night, honestly.
And you have spooky stuff happen. I love it. I need to go on an investigation. It's been Randolph County was my last investigation. That was over a month ago. So I'm having withdrawals. No, so I run this route, and I found out that I go to Decatur, Illinois for work, and I found out that US 36 goes right into Decatur, and I have to come back into Indiana. But US 36 is where Billy Creek and Indiana State Sanatorium are. They're right on US 36. So it's on my way. It only adds like 25 minutes to my trip if I take that way. So
scenic route.
Yeah, so that's what I did. The other night I did a scenic route.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go on the properties, just everybody know. I didn't go on the properties, but I did go across the street from them. And I'm on US 36. And if people don't know the history of Indiana State Sanatorium and then the Lee Allen Bryant Medical Facility that it turned into, a lot of patients escaped and were actually hit by cars out on US 36. So I park my semi, I get out, I take a couple of pictures of me pointing at the sign because I'm excited, because Indiana State Sanatorium is my first ever paranormal locations. And that was my first ever location that I've been to. And I go to get back in my semi, and I sit down, and then like something touches my neck. I could feel it like touch my neck. And then I had Spirit Talker running, and I got the name. I was like, all right, who touched me? And then I got the name Doris. And that's all I got. Nothing else.
I wonder if I can find her.
I've been trying to find her since the other day.
Ask Justin. Give me 10 minutes.
So, you laser light stalker. Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm a laser light stalker. So 2 nights ago, I go back in front of it because I'm like, so, all right, I gotta know now.
Yeah.
So I park out there. It's about 3:00 in the morning, and I don't get out of the truck this time. I just sit there, and I turn on Spirit Talker, and immediately as I turn it on, I hit the button and it turns on and it says, "We love talking," right out of the gate. And I was like, all right, who touched me last night? And I got nurse.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, which is crazy, considering my first ever experience to find all the information. Took her 10 minutes to find all the information on a suicide painting I acquired. So my first experience at Indiana State Sanatorium is I had an interaction with an apparition of a nurse. And I've had the same interaction the last 2 times I've been there. So I'm on the phone the other night with my brother while I'm running this. And I was talking to him about their bodies buried on the property. They're going to bring ground penetrating radar in to find it and whatnot. I got grave, and then it's time to talk.
Wow.
Just like back to back. And I know people aren't a big fan about Spirit Talker because it's a phone app, but I've had a lot of intelligent responses from Spirit Talker that I can't ignore.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I know that, when you look at equipment as a whole, at any given point in time, it can be inaccurate because it's a piece of equipment. And although it's an app, if you can get valid, like, names, data, dates, whatever, and you can cross-reference that and prove it historically.
I know. So a month ago, my wife and I were at Fairfield County Infirmary because they were having that flashlight tour.
I want to go so bad.
I love it. I love it there.
I'm thinking about trying to get there next year.
I'm doing Madison in December.
Are you?
Yes.
What would I have going on in December? I'll have to look.
I'll send you the date.
Because
it's not full. It's not full yet.
I'm tempted. It's a 12-hour trip for me.
I know. That's in up by Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's like 12 or 14 hours. I think. Something like that. But either way, I can still fly. So.
So Taylor and I were downstairs, and there's a coffin in like the doctor's area. Mm-hmm. And I said to Taylor, I was like, "Hey, climb in that coffin." And she's like, "No." Spirit Talker said, "Ha ha, dare Taylor." Says her name.
That's fantastic.
And like 2 minutes before all of that, it said beard because Taylor made a joke about my beard.
That's awesome.
And it said beard. And I'm like, either it's listening in and just generating words based on our conversation, or it's legit. So those are the ones.
I don't know. Like, I like to think that, like, it's just communication. I guess apps can listen and they can, generate words or whatever. But, I don't want to be a fuddy-duddy,
I listen, I get it. But, I was just like, necrophonics is another one I've gotten great at response. I love necrophonics. One of the first ones I ever used was necrophonics.
I love necrophonics.
Last night I was driving down the road and I turned on necrophonics just to see if I could get anything, and I heard Cody multiple times, and then I was on the phone with my brother and we heard his name a couple of times. So it's just like,
yeah,
something is like, I don't know if I have like a family member that's following me and that is with me, but I love Spirit Talker and I love necrophonic, and people give me shit and I don't care. This is probably one of the greatest pieces of paranormal
for it.
This is one of the greatest pieces of paranormal equipment. I didn't mean to cut you off. What did you say?
You're fine.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Spiritus. I've used Spiritus and I don't really care for it.
But not even just the apps, but the fact the cameras on these things and the audio recorders on these things. You get some great responses.
And you know, the new iPhone has LiDAR on it. A lot of the newer iPhones. I'm pretty sure 13 did.
I did not know that.
So LiDAR, pretty high-tech software, and it can, from everything that I researched before LiDAR became a thing, like I was thinking, because my brain's always thinking. I'm always thinking of ideas and experiments, and it's just it's nonstop with me. But I was thinking, I was like, well, what if there was something that could see shadows? And so, because ultimately, as a paranormal investigator, if you could just see where they are, that would be epic, right? So I'm trying to figure out how would you see that? And I'm like looking, I'm like, they do surveys and they do 3D models, and then I came across LiDAR. And LiDAR does, in fact, detect shadows. What did it say?
Follow us behind you.
Ooh, please be behind me.
Don't be behind me.
Be behind me. I'm fine with
Well, it's probably my demon wife. It's okay.
it. Now watch it say wife.
I know. I'll laugh.
Like, what if behind your curtain thing we start seeing like a black shadow standing there and like a hand pushing through?
That would be up. She's in the chat. She's in the chat. I see a ha.
Hi, Steffi.
So that first
Steffi's-
off, I would scream like a little girl if that happened, and I would probably crap my pants. So if something,
Taylor.
Taylor, remind you that I can hear you come down the stairs. You're not as quiet as you think you are.
You gotta be sneaky.
You gotta be sneaky. It's kind of hard when she's got a 2-year-old.
I challenge Taylor to like get under the bed and wait for you to go get in the bed and grab your ankle. Like when you least expect it. That would be amazing.
I work nights and I sleep during the day, so that doesn't work.
I mean, that makes it easy.
Also, I'm a vampire, so
Yeah, me too. But
I got Nora. Does anybody know a Nora?
no.
I just got Nora. No, my brother is going to be starting to join me on Paranormal Investigations, which is nice.
I love it.
Yes. Yay. So I have a second team member, or third, because Emmett's on the team.
Hey, look in your Randolph County Infirmary book and see if there's a Nora. I know that name.
That would be interesting if there was a Nora.
I'm actually going to be at Malvern Manor here in about 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Well, the same weekend you're going to. There's no Nora there.
ISS. Yeah, because I asked you if you were going to go to ISS Con. It's going to be another Adam Kimmel party.
I want to meet him so bad.
Dude, he is so awesome.
I do. I want to meet him so bad.
Anyway, I glanced. I didn't see one, but there's probably one.
I mean, you never know. Like, it's just my brain's always thinking about things. So also, just for people, for my books, the reason why we could look it up, I'm just going to explain like the layout to it. So I made the spiral bound copies are copies you can only get through me. Lulu doesn't allow me to sell them like on Amazon. So they're all through me, and typically they're cheaper. You just have to wait for me to order them. But I did spiral bound so that when you're looking at it and you're researching, it stays open for you as opposed to a paperback that closes. So every person has their own page, and their names are in alphabetical order by first name, because that's typically what you get. and their name appears in the lower right-hand corner of the page. And the reason why that is that so if you get a name, you can quickly flip through and go to the correct name. Now, if they had a nickname, let's say that their name was Jonathan and they went by John, it's going to be in alphabetical order by John instead of Jonathan, because people typically wouldn't call them Jonathan. But there's also indexes in the back that put it in alphabetical order by last name. It puts it in order by month of death and year of death. So like you can go through and see how many people died in 1943 if you get on like a communication device. Hey, I died in 1943. You can go through and see who died in 1943. Now, I'm not saying that I have every single death, but I feel like I have the lion's share. There's obviously over time, there's, you know, records that I don't have access to. Yeah, also a lot of it depends on the state in which, like, we are Malvern Manor. In Iowa, they don't release death certificates unless they've been dead for 75 years or longer. And at Malvern Manor, it didn't become a nursing home until like the mid to late 50s. And so death certificates for these people were not, they're not available to the public. So that's not something that I can find. Now, for, let's say, if you have a book that has death certificates, this is what they look like. If they have a death certificate, it's on their page. It'll tell you where they died, when they died, what they died from. It also lists next of kin, typically mom, dad, where they were born. Let's see if I could find pictures of them in the newspapers. Their pictures would go in here. Their gravestones, basically anything that I can find that relates to the person, I find in here and I put it in. We are the children of Asylum 49. There's like little Easter eggs in every book is what I call them. And there was, let me find it. There's only one adult in here, and her, let me find it. I can't talk and look at the same time. So there's a woman in here. I can't find it like right off the bat. Oh, yes, here it is. So here's the death certificate of Margie Harris. Now, she has 2 children in this book. This is Margie Harris right here. She has 2 children in this book, and she lost 2 of her children within 3 months of each other, I think. It was either 3 months or 3 weeks. One of them died of a congenital condition, and the other one died from an illness. And she committed suicide 5 years later. And that's why she's in this book. And I believe she died at the hospital. No, I think she died at home. But that's why she's in this book. And my main goal of my series is to remember the dead. I believe that every story is important. Every person is important. And often their stories get hidden behind decades of newspaper articles. If they didn't have find a graves in there that I could find, I created one for them. And everything that I find in relation to all of these people in these books, I upload to their find a grave, so that if they have family looking for them somewhere, that they have access to the information that I pay for. So I will upload their death certificates. I will upload their newspaper articles. I will upload everything that I can find. If I find a picture in the newspaper, then I upload that. So everything that I find, I update all of their find a graves for their families so that they can have it too. But yeah, that's
that is awesome that you do that, because a lot of people don't take the time to put in for the details, and then you're just like, oh, I'm whatever. But you find it, you update it, and you share it with the world.
It's important for me. Like this, I will tell you that I have to take a break in between each book. I should be working on Asylum 49 Part 2 because, like I said, I still have 3 more books for Asylum 49 to put together. And the research is done. It's just sitting there and doing it because while I'm putting it together, that's when I start uploading it to all their Find a Grave, so I don't get um, confused or mixed up. And it's a tedious process, and it takes a long time. So I do have to get breaks because I get burnt out. And
I feel you. I
but
really do.
I do love doing it. I love doing it.
So, what has been the greatest location that you've ever investigated?
Ooh. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick.
Every location.
Yeah. Each one is kind of special in their own way. Malvern Manor was my very first location that I ever did, and that started my journey into being an author. That prompted my journey into researching the dead and finding stories, and I love that part of it, and I love Malvern Manor for that. Asylum 49, Stephanie, near Stephanie O'Reilly. She's one of my very best friends, and she owns that location. And I met her a couple years ago, I want to say, through a mutual friend that we had. And I just naturally gravitated towards her. And in her house and in the villa, it is one of those places that is just incredibly active. Um, there's It's just incredibly active all the time, and there's no rhyme or reason. Now, there are locations when you go and you're just like, oh, it's been kind of a sour night, nothing really happened, and that's expected. I mean, you're not going to go to a location and have something happen all the time. Typically, that's not the norm. Quite honestly, paranormal investigating can get quite boring, especially if you're getting a off night or you're not getting the things that you thought you were going to get. But McIntyre Villa is one of those places that is incredibly, incredibly active. Oh man, I've seen shadow people there. I've heard disembodied voices there. I remember I caught it on live. I should actually download that clip, but I caught it on live, and it we were all down in the basement, and Stephanie was kind of in the back part of the basement, and we were getting ready to do like an Estes session method or a DR60 method or session. And everybody was down in the basement, and you heard running on the first floor come from far away right over the top of us. And you could hear the footsteps go. Dun, 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 dun. It was like you hear kids there. When I did We Are McIntyre Villa, which I think that was earlier this year, something like that. I talked to a guy named Brian Polson because I had gotten a photo. One of the new things that I did with We Are McIntyre Villa is I asked for people to submit evidence if they had it, like photo evidence that if they wanted, and I gave credit and all that. But I got a hold of this picture, and let me find it. Actually, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. And I asked him if I could use this photo, and he said yes. And this was taken on the second floor, facing the brightness. It was in the children's room. She has a children's room. It has 2 twin-size beds, and it has her marionette doll of Esmeralda in it. And he was taking a picture down the hallway towards like the library and like the master bedroom. And this is what he caught.
Oh, hell no. 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 If I saw that, I'd be out, done, gone, bye, out of here. Fuck that.
And there's just, I came across so many cool evidence pictures from that little ditty that I did. Um, and I don't regret it. I don't. But McIntyre is definitely one of those ones that I've never really had a night where it was not active. Garnet House is also my other favorite. I love that. Um, that's one of my favorite places too. It's just incredibly active, and I've been to the Squirrel Cage Jail in it's Omaha or Council Bluffs. I can't remember which one it's in, I guess, but Villisca, Edinburgh. I definitely want to get out to um, Madison Seminary and the infirmary. Oh gosh, there's so many places I want to see.
So I was at Eloise. So when was that? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, I was at Eloise, and I went there with a group of people, and they got there before I did, and they caught that.
Oh boy, that would make me a little leery.
I wouldn't have come had I known that they had caught
What's he
that.
going for?
Because
How-
that has got to be at least 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a big one.
He's a tall one.
Yes,
Yeah, I love Eloise.
I've never been there.
What?
I've never been there. I need to be there.
You do?
Be there. I really want to do Sheboygan too.
I want to do Sheboygan too.
I want to do Sheboygan. I think that would be a blast.
Taylor and I are going to Eloise on September 13th, which is a Friday. Friday the 13th.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I hope it's so active. Are you going to go live?
Yes.
Sweet.
So it's a public investigation. I was invited because I make their equipment, and I'm making an equipment for a raffle giveaway for that night. So I was like, hey, they're like, hey, can you come? And I'm like, yeah.
How
So-
far is it from you?
2.5 hours.
Gosh, you live so close to all of the
So-
gigantic ones.
Oh, hold on, we're gonna. I gotta get the. Oh, come on. No, stop. I hate my computer sometimes. There we go. People hate when I do this, but I will tell you how far I am away from stuff. We're gonna use my home as a starting point. All right, so here we go. Indiana State Sanatorium is 3 hours from my house. Madison Seminary is 4 hours. Waverly is 4 hours. Fairfield County Infirmary is 3 hours. Eloise is 2.5 hours. Randolph County Infirmary is 1 hour and 45 minutes. Monroe House is 45 minutes. Blackford County Jail is 45 minutes. Ohio State Reformatory is 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Do you think Taylor would mind if you had a roommate and I'll help her take care of the kids?
We already just, my brother's moving in. We're building a bedroom in our basement.
Tell him to scoot over.
There you go. That's it. That's your next. That's your next. Your next travel nurse assignment is
Right?
come out to Indiana.
I should. You know what? I should.
I live 5 minutes from the. I'm 30 away from Waverly. I will be at Waverly next month, and I'm excited. The granddaddy of them all. I'm 9 hours from Pennhurst.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, that was a long ass drive with an 8-year-old.
Yeah, that would be a long
It
drive.
took 12 hours.
Are we there yet? Starts 15 minutes in.
Oh my God. Thank God for an iPad. So thankful.
And then you stop every 45 minutes to pee.
Yes. We did stop at OSR on the way back
Oh,
because
nice.
it was right. We didn't go inside or anything. We just went out front of it. It was because we went to Pennhurst Paracon and that was the same weekend as OSR's Paracon event. So it's like, get that shit together.
Right.
So,
Right. And then there's Gettysburg Battlefield Bash coming up, isn't it? Sometime this summer, or maybe.
couple of weeks. I'm not going. I was gonna go, but yeah, I'm 9 hours from Gettysburg.
Yeah. I mean, I drive 5.5 hours one way to work.
Yeah, I know.
It's
But
worth it, though. It's worth it.
I absolutely will let you know when I'm around. That would be awesome.
I am way out in like western Kansas working right now. It's not quite the end of the earth, but you can see it from there.
How far away from Kansas am I?
I live in southeast Kansas.
Okay, well,
See how far you are from Atchison, Kansas.
Atchison?
Hmm. I bet you're about 12 hours.
No, 9 hours and 45 minutes.
Ooh.
Which is fun. That's cool because it takes US 36.
Well.
Well, that's not until I get over to Springfield. And then in Springfield, it's US 36 the whole way. But yeah, it's not that. That's just a normal shift for me. 631 miles.
There you go.
I know.
Well, if you ever decide to book it, let me know.
Book what?
Atchison, McIntyre Villa.
I would love to. I've got some friends out there. L&M Paranormal.
Yes. Yep.
So Leah and Mike. Mike was in the chat earlier, but yeah. I want to go investigating with them. They may be coming to Madison in December 5th.
I love it.
It's my birthday.
What?
So we're having to investigate. Last year I did Monroe House on my birthday, and this year we're doing.
What was that? I've heard mixed reviews.
I've never had a bad time at Monroe House.
Awesome. It was weird because like it seemed like a couple years ago it was super popular, and now you don't ever really hear of it anymore.
Oh, it's always busy.
Is it? I don't ever hear of it.
Dude, $175 a night, and they give you a fridge full of pop with chips and cookies. I mean, you can't.
Ooh.
My fat boy, I drank about $175 worth of the pop. I can tell you that right now. They're going broke. Just that really TikTok. Yeah, just on it. Come on, TikTok. I want to show the video, and then we can end the show.
I just never hear of people going there. Like, I'm not saying they don't. I just usually it used to be like, oh, we're going to Monroe House, and I don't ever hear of it anymore. But man, that's cheap. $175.
Yeah, for 5 people.
That's cheap as shit.
I know. Oh, dang it! Now I gotta. You know what? Whatever. So if you go onto my TikTok, I'll send you the video. I have a cat ball that starts rolling all by itself.
Oh, nice.
At the Monroe House. Yeah.
I have a really cool video of McIntyre Villa, actually. It was the same scenario. I left the, I'll see if I can find it. I left the live going when we were taking a break upstairs. I left the live going in the basement, and I caught like a crap ton of EVPs singing. There's one on there. It says run. Like you hear her singing and you hear run.
Oh, hell no.
But it's all within there. That's Garnet House. Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, you sent that to me.
That one? Yeah. Yeah, that was all in 30 minutes, right around 30 minutes of leaving it going on its own.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, I had some people comment asking where they could get, and I know Justin responded, but where can they get your books?
Well, they can message me. I can give them a link to PayPal. I do have a website, but it is down right now, and I cannot figure out how to fix it to save my life. If you're an internet guru, let me know, because I will definitely let you help me. I purchased the domain from GoDaddy, and then I use oh hell, no, I could tell you any other time.
WordPress.
No, shit.
Well, we could talk about this later.
Yeah. Anyway, like it was working fine one day, and then now it's not. It's not even recognized. I don't know where the disconnect is. But as soon as that goes up, like I take like PayPal, debit card, or you can just message me and I can send a PayPal link so that you can pay for them. Every book comes signed and with free shipping. They're 8.5 by 11. They're gigantic. There's a lot of information in them, but typically you'll get them cheaper through me than you would online. And then, so that's just message me, and then I can
There's the link to her Facebook for everybody.
Aw, how many people we got in here?
6 right now.
How many of these people have heard of me?
Yeah, how many people?
Yes.
I've heard of Tory. Oh wait, I don't count.
I don't know. I'm not. I was thinking about giving away a book.
Ah, yes.
So if you can pull up like a prize wheel type thing, everybody that's in here watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. We're gonna get a prize wheel. Everybody that wants to be entered, please comment so I can.
Yes.
So
you will be winning, which Justin already has this, so he's probably not going to enter. We are Malvern Manor.
So if you're interested in winning, say hey in the chat so I can put your name on the list. I can't actually see who's in here. I can see that there's 9 people in here now. Okay.
So it's going to come signed. I will send it out either tomorrow or the next day. I got a lot going on tomorrow. But yes, you're going to enter to win a copy of We Are Malvern Manor. It's my first book. This is my first time on a Sharp Side of Paranormal podcast. So we're gonna do.
I got 3 people right now. Anybody else?
I always come with the goodies.
I know. I appreciate it. Helro. Yeah. Brandon, I already got you, and I already got Angel. I got other side. Anybody else want to be entered? Anybody else?
Whoever, and Justin, if you want to enter, you can too. But he already has this book. He bought it because he's going to be at Malvern with me here in a few weeks. So let's see. I don't know.
Tory is a paranormal investigator, writer, author, nurse, full-time mom. Yeah. So, well, since these are the only 3,
last chance. Going twice.
All right, I'm gonna spin the wheel of names. Here we go. Click to spin. Whee!
Yay!
Angel
won. Congratulations, my love.
Yay! Woo!
If you could just use your if you can send your information to Cody and he can forward it on to me, or you can send me a message, either way. If you don't have access to my Facebook, and then I will get it sent out before the end of the week.
I know, Angels. I'll just ship it to Brandon's house. It's okay.
Brandon, see his comment. I know that's not what he meant, but that was.
Oh, it is what he meant. Her nickname is Anal, or her nickname is Anal, and it's because of her niece or something like that. Can't pronounce Angel, so she says Anal.
I love it. I was like, oh gosh, that was like autocorrect gets me every single time, and I was like, poor Brandon.
Hey, Anal, I'm working on that rubber ducky flex device for you, so you could go ahead. It's gonna say Anal on the bottom.
You should draw a picture of a balloon.
Oh, that is so mean.
Just draw a balloon knot next to it. That's fine. It's just a balloon knot.
She said we could die. It's not very. Then I can be in Tori's next book.
It'd be like, I don't know, which location are you gonna go to?
See, if I had to die at any location, ooh, Indiana State Sanatorium.
That's where you'd hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to check out Trans-Allegheny. I might float there for a few years if I were to ever
just float around.
I would be everywhere. I'd just go hang out. Yeah.
How far away from Farmersville, Illinois? That is a good question. Let's go to the wonderful Google Maps. Here we go. And my share screen. Oh, no, we can't share my screen because it's got my home address on there. So don't want to do that to, let's see, Farmersville, Illinois. Survey says 5 hours and 12 minutes.
That's not bad. I was expecting you to say like 45 minutes or something.
45 minutes. No. Oh, and it's having me take 72 across and not. You see the wife? Yeah, no, thank you. I want to take 36 across so I can stop past ISS again.
Right? Scenic route.
It literally only added 25 minutes. It was like, okay, but look how happy I was.
Yeah. See, scenic route wins every time in my book. I love it. I love it.
But like to give you an idea of how far back I park or how far away from the place I park. So the blue dot is where I am. Oop. That's Micro Center. My bad. Nope. There it is. All right. So the blue dot is where I'm at. Like the main buildings are back up here.
Wow.
So you
that's way off the beaten path, it seems.
Yeah, like you got to go. Like there's this, like the drive is like really long, and then like they got the commercial building up front where it's got power and restrooms and you can sleep up there, and then but like all the actual places are back here, and there's
fancy.
Creeks that, and like the shoulder. I mean, it's really wide up there where like I had plenty of room to park my semi and just sit there and communicate with spirits.
Man, I love it. Man, this is going to be so fun. We totally got to meet someday.
Oh, we will. We will. Yeah, because we're coming up here, I believe, July 29th. Yeah, July 29th will be 2 years from my first ever paranormal investigation.
I love it.
And look where I'm at 2 years later.
I mean, you worked hard. You worked hard for it. And you know, if you do come to Kansas,
I meet Dorothy.
I mean, you might. She might be dead, but you might.
Well, that's good. I communicate with dead people all the time. So
I mean, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll get you a pair of red shoes.
The Ruby.
I'm gonna make them click when you walk too.
I listen. I communicate with spirits. I'm married to a demon. It's all good.
I mean, I'm on her team. I'm on her side.
You have to make sure they are heels. I would totally rock a pair of heels.
I'd twist my ankle. I ain't even gonna lie.
Are you investigating as an anniversary? No. I wish I was. You know what? I should wait. When is July? It's a Monday night. Nope, I have to work.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
might have diarrhea that day.
Huh?
You might have diarrhea that day.
Please
You
no.
never know.
No, I don't want to. No. Oh, see, demon, proof of demon.
But if and when does your wife come with you? Does she go with you to investigate and stuff?
Sometimes yes. She's
I
going.
request that she come too, just because I got to meet the Mrs. Sharp side of paranormal.
Yes. Want to join me? I wish I could, but I work the 20th. I can't. So I work typically. One day your wife will kill you. Yeah, I know. I work Friday through Tuesdays, which sucks.
I feel it.
And I have to rearrange my schedule. My work is very flexible because I work in logistics, and it's a 24/7 operation, so it's totally cool. But like for I know I appreciate it, Justin. I really do. For like ISS Con, which is a Saturday, I have to work the Thursday before on my day off to make up the fact that I'm having that Saturday, and then I need that Sunday night off as well because I am going to Waverly. So I have to work that Wednesday to make up for the fact. So it's like I can't win.
I work every other weekend, so it's hard for me to get out sometimes. I have to know like way in advance to get vacation, but because I'm an agency nurse, I don't get vacation time. I just don't get any pay if I take certain days off. But what I was going to say is if you guys end up coming to Kansas, there is so many places that's so close. Like if you go to Atchison, for example, I don't know, say that's your first stop. Beatty Mansion is only like 30 minutes from McIntyre. Garnett House is 2 hours from McIntyre. Malvern Manor is 2.5 hours from McIntyre. Villisca is 2.5 hours from McIntyre. There's so many places. I mean, it would be a lot to hit in one trip, but definitely there's a lot of places within. And I'm currently scouting, so we will see how it goes. Yes, the Sally House is also in Atchison.
I have to make next year. It'll be next year. I make a trip out to Kansas. Well,
Yeah.
Tori, I really appreciate you coming on my show and giving away a book. And I'm gonna just have you send the book to me, and then I'm gonna write anal in it, and then send it to Angel. And
I love it.
And she's gonna kill me. Yeah, I appreciate you giving away a book. That's awesome.
I like doing it. And honestly, if one more person can see the stories and read the stories that I've read and get to know the people that I've gotten to know through doing this research, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal.
I have to share this comment before we go. I'm going to help your wife kill you.
They're going to be on the next episode of Snapped.
I told Taylor if she does murder me, please make the episode of Snapped interesting. I don't want some white girl to be like, this is boring. And then I just nope. We're not gonna have that.
She's got to really turn the crazy on.
My wife, my wife. Yeah, she could definitely do that. Tori, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Next week we're gonna have the historic Rainworth Lodge in Daniel, the owner, come on and talk about his new location to investigate Gettysburg. Woo! Yay! Yeah, it's no problem there, is what the wife says. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You all have a good one. Remember, stay on the sharp side of the paranormal.